If you're a workshop owner who's past the 1 million mark and maybe opened up some new locations, you've got a serious problem. You've worked hard and climbed the mountain to get where you are, but after 15 minutes of smelling the roses, you realise something. Your shoulders don't feel any lighter, it's all still on you. And to get to your next milestone, you realise you're going to have to forcefully continue the long days where you're the answer for everything and you can't step away from the wheel because the ship might just crash. That's when you understand you don't own a business, but instead have bought a high-paying job for yourself. In this video, I'm going to run through how you can use processes to change this and steer the ship so you can finally step away without worrying. You can't step away from the business for 2 reasons. Number 1, there's a gap. Number 2, you're the gap filler. So let's break that down. You're probably asked multiple times a day to make the call. You're filling the gap. And the more that happens, the more you start to ask yourself, do I just know more than everyone else? It's asked sarcastically because you know that your team members should know the answer. The issue is you've got the roadmap upside down. Making the call is another way to look at permission to make the call. And to give indefinite permission, there needs to be detailed processes that allow your team to access the gap. The roadmap looks like visibility, speed, and then autonomy. But if we rush straight to autonomy before the other 2 are in place, you'll find the right calls aren't going to be made and all those problems are coming straight back to you. So to understand this gap, we need to look at visibility. The gap is the pieces of information needed to go from the start of the repair to the end outcome. And when you're the gap filler rather than the process, it means the gap's too big for your team to make the decision. We need to reduce that gap by making the information visible throughout. You do this by having a central system that not only documents information, but also integrates with your existing and additional systems so that the gap's reduced throughout the whole business. You do this through a garage management software, a piece of kit designed specifically for this purpose. So that brings us on to the next part of the roadmap, which is speed. And speed should be considered before you commit to a garage management software, as we need the flexibility to refine our processes and not be a slave to the software we choose. If you choose the wrong system now, you're going to spend more time shoveling data into it just to make it work than actually using it as a tool to run your business. So the key to speed is the visibility that we set up earlier, because without front of house being able to see what the workshop's doing and vice versa, that's when the cars are going to be up on the ramp for longer, costing you money, and the team are chasing their tails, chasing you, or worse, chasing the customer for answers they should already know. To implement speed into the business, we need to shortcut our time to filling the gap, and we do this in 2 ways. Number 1, required fields, and number 2, required notes. You already know exactly what pieces of information you're missing. Within your GMS, use the required fields and features like VRMs and postcode lookups to ensure the integrity of your data is solid. Every time a job comes in, your team will confirm past information and add in the required fields and notes. And just before we get into how to drive autonomy, everything we've mentioned in this video can be done within our garage management system, GDS. If you're interested in seeing how it works, click the link in the description or go to our website and book a free one-to-one demo and we'll walk you through it. Now that your team have the visibility of everything going on live, and you've sped up the time it takes to access the required information by documenting thoroughly from the beginning, you've got a workshop that can make more decisions on their own. Where we're at now will speed up time on the ramp, time for approvals, diagnostics, and grab you more hours in the day that you can be charging for as cars go out faster. But now I want to go a bit further using permission trees. This is where you document some of the harder to make decisions. And you firstly select a trusted team member who's going to be responsible for this, and then choose the parameters to put a ceiling on what they can do. For example, approving refunds up to £250. You then are going to add an escalation process if it goes over those parameters. This way, with all the information to hand and processes in place for anything out of the ordinary, your team can make calls as you would, because the system is now the gap filler rather than you. It's hard to implement a system going in completely blind. You need to understand the 5 pillars that the system runs against. Now we have a video to run through exactly that. It will show you what a GMS covers and some criteria for picking the perfect one for you. Click here to watch.